It is 8 p.m. in Tokyo. Darian is in his apartment, looking at a picture of the girl he loved with his heart, Yusaki Suzukino. 3 years have passed since she died in the hands of the monster known as Doomsday. For him, it happened like yesterday. The images of the girl dying and appear again and again. Her big blue eyes closed for the last time. Her words, symbol of endless fight that she had as the heroine. Doing the drug human already. Can we please just hold off on the spelling errors just this once? Oh, I forgot to introduce it. To do the introduction. Hello, everybody. Apparently, Trixie decided that I did something wrong to her. Yes, you did. You skipped on her paycheck. So as punishment, she's having me do another Von Dilmery this week, instead of a fanfic where I could be happy. So, welcome as the basement of the Tree-Bearing Memorial Library presents Von Doom's Xena and Sailor Moon crossover, or The Death of Sailor Moon 2, or Reasons Why I Brought Sabo with me today! Serena, please hang on, Serena. The paramedics will be here soon. The mouse say, is he? Is he? Yes, my love. You stopped him. You stopped us out. He saved us all. But there was nothing he could do back then. She closed her eyes, died in his arms. Tears filled in his eyes, started running on his face, clenched his fist, and screamed that had been waiting 3 years to release him, found his way out. Serena. Oh, please, no more periods, please! In another place, a blue-haired girl remembers the heroine. I remember the heroine, too. Amy Mizuno, a.k.a. Sailor Mercury, listens to the music that comes from a music box. Everybody? It's a little music box. It's a little music box. And with that little music box, it means I love you. Something tells her that she could have done something to prevent it. If only I had been more careful, ellipses, I could have been, ellipses, able to find the weak point of the creature, and nothing of this bad could have happened. Oh, nothing of this could have happened. In a corner of her room, an old wheelchair reminds her of the 3 years she had to use it after the attack of the monster. 2 months have passed since she regained control of her legs and walked again. She walked toward it and thinks of it as her punishment. You were my punishment for all this. I, ellipses, deserved it, ellipses, more than anyone else, ellipses. Tears run down her cheeks as she kneels beside it and starts to sob silently until she falls asleep. The next day at school, during lunchtime, Sonia found her crying behind a tree. Behind a 3. No, that's not me. It's a 3. You okay, Amy? Ellipses. It was my fault, Sonia. Ellipses. Mine and no one else's. Ellipses. What are you talking about? Serena. Ellipses. My misconcentration caused her death. Ellipses. What? That is ridiculous. How could you be responsible for it? When the monster attacked, I was supposed to find its weak point. I lost my concentration and... ellipses. Her words were cute when the thunder was heard, and the girl saw a 10-year-old girl with pink hair, fluffy ponytails that fall on the ground. They ran towards her. She was unconscious and pale. The girls decided to take her to Ami's home. Once there, they decided to treat her. And she started to sweat and mumble things. Have to, ellipses, 2, ellipses, put them together, ellipses, no, ellipses, time, stop using ellipses! What is she talking about? I don't know, Sonia. This is weird. Later that day, Sonia left it, and Ami continued treating the girl until she woke up. Ami, ellipses, you have to help me, ellipses. Who are you, and how do you know my name? I'm from the future. I was supposed to be Serena's daughter. Ellipses, Now I have to find her soulmate, ellipses. Must get her together with Darian, ellipses. Otherwise I'll die in 48 hours, ellipses. Why 48 hours? Ami couldn't believe it. Could this be true? She thought. Could she be the Serena's daughter? Will I care? Ami gave her a sedative and the girl fell to sleep. And then she called Sonia, who arrived moments later. Once there, they waited until the girl woke up once more. You're Serena's soulmate? Yeah, you could say that. Then you must get together with Darian and... Stop! Right there! Twilight! I need your assistance on this one. DNA does not work like that. Even if you were to use the same soulmate, you would not have the same DNA as if you were Serena and Darian's daughter. That's how DNA works like that. This is what we call learning. Doodles. Oh, what, Twilight, could you stay there for a moment? I might need you a little bit more. What? Please don't mention that name again. Rainey was shocked. But, why? That pervert touched me and tried to kiss me the first time he saw me. Sonia, I explained to you. I don't care. If you name him again, I'll leave. No, you must get together and love him. Are you nuts? I'll never love someone like him. But if you don't, I'll die. She didn't answer her. She walked out the room in the house. Rainey tried to follow her, but was still weak and fell onto the floor where she started to cry. Why? Why is she so mean? Calm down. I'll talk to her and we will figure something out. It took a lot of time and a big effort by Ami to make Rainey fall asleep. It was anesthetic. The next morning, she tried to talk to Sonia. I love these time loops, don't you? Sonia, I know how you feel, but you can't treat her like that. Look, Ami, I don't know what is going on here. All I know is that I became Sailor Moon because by some sort of way I was at the right place. But that doesn't mean I have to stick with a pervert for the rest of my life. He is not a pervert. I already told you why he acted like that. Do you not pay attention? Look, I don't know her, and I'm not going to ruin my life for her. Meanwhile, in Ami's house, Rainey started to look around the house, finding a book about ancient Greece. She found a gem known as the Chronostone, a special gem that allowed the one who has it to travel to tiny events. She took the key that allowed her to come back and its power to go back to ancient Greece. In moments, she appeared in the forest, but by using her powers for a second time, she lived a short period of time between one use and the other. Her memory was lost, and she wanted to walk forward until she heard voices. And my apologies to all you Xena fans. I only saw a few episodes of the series, and I must prefer Kevin Sorbo's Hercules Legendary Journey to this. So if I get any voices wrong, my apologies. Same warning as it with any Buffy fic. Although, if I were doing this with Jaya, if I were doing a Buffy fanfic, this would be awesome, because then there's a high probability I would get Spike in it. But still, this is Xena's classic yell, so I'm going to have to do it. Yes, I'm going to have to work hard and do it perfectly. Give it up, you punk stallion! Okay, I'm sorry. I promise next time she does her classic yell, I'll do it properly. Behind you, Xena! She continued walking until she saw a battle between a woman who had long black hair and a young one with blonde hair and a group of soldiers all for crying out loud. Periods! Freaking periods! Just one single period is all I ask! She tried to get closer, but she got in the way of an arrow that was directed to Xena. The woman turned around when she heard the girl scream. Using her disc to take care of the attacker, she ordered Gabrielle to help her. After a few moments, the soldiers ran away, and she could help Rini as well. How is she? Bad, Xena. The arrow passed through her. I'm not sure if it hurted the lung. This is the first chapter, people. This is the first chapter! And I'm already hurting! Joy! Xena broke the arrow, and then addressed the girl. No, I'm not going to do the obvious joke. I leave that for somebody else.
Address? Okay. 487 Mackenzie Street, Juban District, Japan.
Thank you, Derpy.
No problem.
Oh, wait, even in a Sailor Moon think I can't get away from doing a Derpy voice. Okay, you'll need to be brave now. She pulled the arrow out, but the pain was so intense that after a big scream, Rini fainted in the arms of Gabrielle. Later that night, she woke up feeling pain in her left shoulder. They noticed that she tried to get up, and the pain made her scream. You okay? Don't try to get up.
Where? Ellipses. M. Ellipses. I. Ellipses.
You're in the forest now. I'm Gabrielle, and this is Xena.
Who are you, little one?
I'm ellipses. I'm ellipses. Can't remember ellipses. Don't you remember your name? Oh. Your calls are strange. Ellipses. And your hairstyle too. Ellipses. What's this key for? Question mark. Okay, new rules to the drinking game. Every time... Take another shot every time I use ellipses. What do you think, Xena? She doesn't look like a citizen of any city that I know of. She will come with us, and you will keep an eye on her. Meanwhile, Ami returned home, finding the book on the floor and tried to touch it. An energy blast emanated and knocked her out, and a man wearing a black clothes appeared. Well, Zeus am I! Later that afternoon, Makoto arrived at her house to deliver a cake she made for Ami's mom. She opened the door and saw the man standing above Ami. Leave her alone! You got to say me? Shouldn't I? Do you know who you're talking to? I'm sorry, I slipped up. Never mind. No. Jupiter! Power! Make up! The man saw the transformation in amazement. Are you some kind of god? I'm Sailor Jupiter, and in the name of my guardian Push! I love doing Sailor Jupiter attacks. The lightning causing no dip. Mitts. I'm going to take your word on that. Fool. I am My name is William the Bloody. Actually, my name is Spike, and Oh, I'm sorry, I introduced myself wrong. Yeah, Spike, read the script. Right. I'm Ares, the god of war. But I have no time to play with you now. With no further word, he disappeared. Seeing this, Jupiter run to aid Amy. Ami, answer me, please.
What happened? My head hurts.
Makoto took a piece of her clothing and cleaned the cut. Seeing it wasn't dangerous, he applied antiseptic and then some bandage. After which, she decided to stay with her, and Ami was laying in the couch where they started to talk. Feel better?
I think so.
What happened?
I don't know. It's kind of hard to know who's talking around here because there's no comma, no parentheses, nothing. This wouldn't even get past the first stage of fanfiction. The last thing I remember is that I found my Greek history book on the floor. Then you were here, and then you, and all of you.
You have to rest. I'll stay with you until your mom arrives. The blue-haired girl fell asleep. During her rest, she saw a woman in a sailor suit. She had long... No! Pluto's got greenest hair! Green hair and a staff. She walked toward her as she taught.
Please, Sailor Mercury. You have to help the small lady. She is in great danger.
Shocked, she woke up.
Huh? You okay? Yeah. I had a bad dream. Some woman walked to me. She walked to me.
Back in Greece, Xena, Gabrielle, and Rini were walking in the forest. We have to move fast if we want to get to Tobias before sunset. How is she?
She is sleeping. Look at her. Ellipses, isn't she cute?
Yeah. Wake her up. We have to move.
Sure, Ellipses. Come on, little one. Ellipses. Get up, Ellipses. Little girl, Ellipses. Xena! She is not waking up!
Xena rushed and saw that she was pale and sweating, and her breathing was heavy. Damn! The thing was poisoned. We have to move fast. If we don't get the antidote soon, she will die.
How much time do we have?
4 hours. She then took the knife and made a cut on the girl's arm, letting some of the blood out.
This will give us a few minutes more.
Pour on the horse, and we'll have to move. Now that wasn't nice. We don't know the horse's sexual modifications. Shut up! Xena was worried. Rini's face was very pale, and her breathing was just above a whisper. She saw a purple flower and ordered Gabrielle to get it while she took Rini off from the horse.
Is this the antidote? No. This will only slow the effects of the poison and allow to get us to Tobias in time to save her.
Back in the present... Ugh, this time warping's getting me sick. Ami sitting in front of the tree in the backyard of the school. She was still thinking of the events of the last 24 hours. The strange girl called herself the daughter of Serena. The lightning bolt that came from her book, The Dream. She started worrying about this was a symptom of a mental problem. After all, she got through the death of her best friend. Suddenly a thought came and started to hammer her mind again and again and again and again. Like a freaking paragraph that doesn't have a comma. That doesn't have a period.
I'm sorry, he's starting to have a mental breakdown. Don't worry, people. Don't worry, people. He'll be back in a few minutes. I killed her, Ellipses. It was my fault, Ellipses. I killed her, Ellipses.
She was so concentrated in her thoughts, she didn't hear Minako talking to her. She noticed that when the blonde girl was shaked her violently, she started to cry uncontrollably.
Ami, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you. I killed her! It was my fault! Who did you kill? What's this all about?
The blue-haired girl didn't answer. She got up and ran away crying. Mia tried to follow her, but she was too fast. Then decided to look for her friends. Ami, being fast, they're in Minako.
Mina, are you sure that she said I killed her?
I'm pretty positive of what I heard of Ray.
I know what she talks about.
The girls turned around when they heard Sonia's voice in the doorway. The girl told them that she found her crying in their later encounter with Rini. Then Lita told them about her encounter with Ares. Ray was the first to speak.
Okay, why didn't you say this to us the first time it happened? Okay, this is all weird, but first things first. We have to go check on Amy. Let's go to her home. Wait a minute, how come we're still acting like we're in middle school, even though this is supposed to be 3 years later and we're all supposed to be in high school?
The four girls went to Ami's home. There they saw an ambulance and an entrance. Against layer, a stretcher with Ami was being carried to it. The four girls ran to it. Ray asked the pyramid about the situation. What happened to her? She's a friend of mine. The man pulled the blanket up and Ray gasped in horror when she saw Ami's wrists covered with bandages. 2 hours later, before Ami arrived at her home and locked herself in a room, she cried for several minutes. The thought that she and not Doomsday was the one who killed Serena continued to hammer in her mind. Then she noticed something else beside her wheelchair, a pair of scissors.
I'm sorry, Serena. I didn't mean to do it, but I'll make sure I don't hurt anyone else.
Then she cuted her wrist with scissors. She saw the blood coming from them.
This, ellipses, way, ellipses, I, woo, ellipses, well, ellipses, hurt, ellipses.
Blackness covered her eyes as she fell to the floor. In the same instant, her mother opened the door to her room. She called an ambulance in the minutes when she carried out her friends when she arrived. Back to Greece, Xena, Gabrielle, and Rena went to the house.
I went directly to the house of a friend of hers who knew about the poisons and stray stuff. Is that a medical term? How many times has passed since you received the poison? 12 hours. I can see you treated her with the Leandra. It was the best thing I could do. Can you save her? I'll try. The old woman leaves the seat. Hey, son of a bitch! Get out! I swear, everybody wants to get into the act! I mean, is there some sort of line that everybody wants to interrupt this fanfic reading for? Excuse me. There is a line! Fuck! Well, now that I'm done checking out the line, I could... Wait, who's that in my seat? The old woman leaded Zena and Gabrielle out the room. She then locked the door and started to work at the little girl using strange herbs and beverages. Beverages? Really? Do you think she can save her, Zena? I do hope so. I want to know where this child comes from. Back in the present, the girls arrived somewhere in the hospital. Amy was in intensive care due to the incredible loss of blood she had. The girls were in the waiting room when Darian arrived. Sonia received him. According to this page, I should start reading Sonia in the lines of one Mod Pie. But I do not know this Mod Pie! Oh well, I shall read this in the best way possible. Ahem. What do you want us here? Ami is thy friend, and thou want to knowest what happened to her, and thou wilt bow before the ruler of earth. Suddenly, the same single sensi that appeared in Ami's dream appeared. Repetitive is repetitive. Everyone, excepting them, stopped, and then she addressed them. Behold! Sailor Pluto, the guardian of time! The little lady is in great danger! You are the only ones who can save her, Sailor Senshi! I know I've only been back on Earth for the past... three years or so, but should there not be a comma here, and a comma here, and a paragraph here, and a period here, and commas here, and what is up with all the ellipses? The girls were shocked. Ray was first to speak. You're who? As I said before, I am Sailor Pluto, the guardian of time. The small lady, the one who was supposed to be Serena Tsukuko's daughter, is in much danger. Using the time key, I gave her to travel back to our time. She went back to ancient Greece, looking for a magical gem known as the Corona Stone, which is known to allow the one who harnessed it the power to change events in all times, past, present, and future. She was unaware of the way of work of the key. The use of it with a little amount of time between uses caused a memory loss. She does not know who she is or what she is, but she was poisoned by a poisoned arrow. She is now being helped by a warrior princess. You must go! Help her! And Luna! Yes? You're in the seat. It's quite a comfortable seat. Such plus armchairs and... Out! Back to the reading! Can you teleport us to her? Yes! One more word, Luna! One more word! Then go ahead. Bright lights in the city engulf the group, and they reappeared in a forest back in time. Tell me, Doctor, where we're going today? Is this the 50s or 1999? Where are we? Asked Mia. In the year 1500 BC. This is as far as I can help you. Good luck, Sailor Senshi. Okay, so Luna told me that unless I let her do the voice of Princess Pluto, she was going to... How did that go again? give me such a painful enema that I will regret ever having a colon. Eep. Well, what are we going to do now? Let's transform! Really? Unknown area. We don't know what the people look like, how the people would react to seeing girls in Sailor Scout uniforms, and you say, let's transform? Fine, let's do it. Moon, prism, power. Mars power! Jupiter power! Venus power! Darian took out his rose and transformed. If the roses were red, and they started walking the forest. Suddenly they saw the blonde-haired woman sitting on a tree. Hi. Who are you? Who are you? I'm Sailor Moon, and these are my friends, Sailor Mars, Sailor Venus, and Sailor Jupiter. So he walked towards Tuxedo Common and started to caress his chest.
And who's the mask talk?
He is Tuxedo Mask.
Really? Well, if you're looking for help, I can provide it.
And what's your name?
I'm the ghost sword Batman.
I'm sorry. I did not realize that this was Callisto. Would have been help to know. I am known as Callisto. Who and what are you looking for? We're looking for a pink-haired girl. Callisto remembered the girl Xena was carrying on a horse the day before. Yeah, I know where to find her. Ellipses. Well, what will I get if I can help you? So he started to caress Darian again, and he started trying to take off his coat. Maybe a hot date with you. Maybe a hot date with you. Ellipses. Haha. Ellipses. You know, this background scene's awfully hard to read. Darian shoved shoved her off to him. What? You like little girls instead of a woman? It was already night when they continued into the forest. Callisto offered them a stave in a cave she had in the forest. They accepted, and after eating, they went to sleep. After that night, Callisto was outside watching the stars when she noticed someone around. Oh, ellipses. It's you, ellipses. Sailor Moon, ellipses. What a weird name, ellipses. Stop it, ellipses. I have an offer to make you. Really? You like that tuxedo mask guy, don't you? Who? The guy in the black clothes. Now that you mention it, ellipses. Yeah, ellipses. Well, if you help us find a girl, he is all yours. What? You heard me. Hold on a second, ellipses. You're telling me that if I find this friend of yours, I can do with him anything I want? Right, ellipses. He's your slave. Ellipses. Sounds interesting, ellipses. Okay, ellipses. I accept, ellipses. The next day, ellipses. Callisto, ellipses. Leaded, ellipses. Them, ellipses. Them on their way to Tobias. At noon, they entered the city. They started walking until they saw Xena and Gabrielle eating on a store nearby. That's a weird image. Never put an image in that in my head. Look, Sailor Moon. She is the one that kidnapped your friend. Who is it? The woman of the long black hair. The girls walked toward them. Xena was about to take a sip of her drink when the teenage girl stopped her. When they got on top of the building. Somehow. If you let go of my arm now, I'll break your hand. Where is Rainy? For any answer, and with an incredibly fast move, Xena took Sailor Mars' arm and thought that was Sailor Mars. My gosh, I'm surprised I haven't gotten confusion here. Who's talking? Against the table, which broke by the table on top of a building. Okay,
Who's next?
Moon, Tiara, Magic. Seeing the shot coming, Xena used her disc, and Sailor Moon's tiara fall and got to the ground, cut it into Xena's chakram versus the Moon Tiara boomerang, and the chakra
I'm only on the second chapter. Okay, I can do this.
Any other tricks you want to show me?
Jupiter! Phyllis! She wasn't allowed to finish. A brutal hit from her bow. Gabrielle knocked the air out of the brunette girl, who failed to attack, her knees grasping for air. That is as far as you go. That is as far as you go, girl. Tuxedo Mask tried to help the girl, but Calypso scolded him. Uh-oh. You're not going anywhere. Ellipses, you're mine now.
Let go of me!
Ellipses, looks like you need to learn some manners. With no further word, Calypso started an unmerciful attack on Tuxedo Common. Meanwhile, Zenith took Sailor Moon by her bow and slammed her against the wall. Okay, now start talking before I get mad and decide to cut your throat. Why did Callisto send you? I don't know what you mean. Zenith slapped the girl with all her might. Pink fuzzy handcuffs are perfect for bondage. Pink furry handcuffs are perfect for bondage. Well, why did Callisto send you? Like she was defying her. Sailor Moon didn't say a thing. Like the first time Cena slapped her, she took her sword and pointed at the girl's chest. For the last time, why did Callisto send you? One of these days I gotta learn to stop saying Zenith whenever I say Xena. Sailor Moon closed her eyes when Zenith prepared to stick her sword into her chest. But when Zenith raised her hand, the unexpected happened. She got attacked by Buffy! Venus! Left me chain! An orange heart-shaped colors. Our chain is yellow. Took Xena's hand, preventing her from hitting Sailor Moon. Gabrielle jumped over the table and hit Sailor Venus like she did with Sailor Jupiter. Mina fell to her knees, but without releasing the chain. Gabrielle hit her in the back several times, but to no avail. Xena was trying to release herself when the moist made her react. Stop it! Don't hurt them! Whoever it was! What? You know them? Oh, that was Rainy. Yes. No. Ellipses. Don't know, ellipses. It's just like if I do, ellipses, but I'm not sure, ellipses. Sailor Venus raised her face. It was then Gabrielle noticed the tears that were still running on the teenager's face. She felt like she had kneeled beside her. I'm sorry, ellipses. I didn't mean it, ellipses. Ring, ellipses. Knee, ellipses. Your, ellipses. Back, ellipses. Then she fell to the floor unconscious. Gabrielle took her arms and noticed the incredible resemblance between Minako and her late daughter, Hope. She caressed Mina's face, cleaning the tears she had. This is the way I would have loved to see you, Hope. Like a princess. A warrior princess. Gabrielle, my beautiful Hope. Gabrielle! Sorry, ellipses. It's just that she reminds me of Hope, ellipses. Back in the present, New York City, 9:07 p.m. In one of the skyscrapers, a dark blue gargoyle... What? Says there's a disturbance in the time-space continuum. Okay, what does this have to do with something? His staff points to the exact location of the disturbance. Tokyo, Japan. What? He sits and watches the stars, huh? The sun is about to rise. He makes a magic movement with himself and his staff disappears. What? Minutes later, he appears in his human form in Tokyo Central Park. What? He walks towards a place of the disturbance, Tokyo Central Hospital. He noses until he reaches the exact place, a hallway. That is right, a door with a number on it. 3876409.
Something tells him that the person in that room holds a danger to the Enigma. He enters quietly and sees the patient in bed, a blue-haired girl, about 14 or 15.
Dear Lord of the Matchmaker, I hereby renounce everything I ever said about your
Time warps.
He knows it's her wrist. She tried to kill herself. Why? He asks himself. He opens his hand and now out of nowhere his staff appears on it. He stands in front of her. His staff shows him the answer to his questions. A battle. 5 girls. A blonde one that looks like to be the leader dies. Blue-haired girl blames herself for it. A pink-haired girl appears. Before he can see anything more, something breaks his concentration. He knows who she is. And what shall he ask? Twilight, why are you seeing this girl's memories without her consent?
Ladies and gentlemen,
This is a first for the show.
what we have here,
Is a real Gary Stew.
this is what one is.
Look at him. Overpowered. Strong. Breaks continuity just to fit his rules. This is the epitome of a Gary Stew. Oh yeah, and in case you haven't noticed, everything he's done is perfected. He just fills me with loathing.
I felt a disturbance in the space-time continuum. I thought she could hold the answer to this disturbance.
You had no right.
She's been going through a lot of pain at her young age.
So you know about her double identity.
Yes, please, let me help her. She needs somebody to be her guide.
You expect her to trust you after what you just did.
She will.
I will be watching you. Gone like the wind! She walks out. It's going to be a sunrise, and she knows what that means. The night he returned. Sobs. She is crying. Ellipses. He opens the door when he sees her crying. He caresses her blue hair. She turns around, and he can feel the pain that's going through her. Wait. I just realized the problem here. You made everything! Besides everything,
If it was sunrise in New York, how could it be sunrise in Japan, too?
apparently, this guy invented the TARDIS! Oh, and Ami, you don't notice the gargoyle? Gargoyle.
Well, maybe she just doesn't mind that she's talking to a purple unicorn.
True. Tears from her eyes. It's going to be hard.
You don't understand. I was supposed to tell her how to stop that creature, and I failed. Ellipses. Thanks to that, ellipses. Ellipses.
She breaks up in tears again. He hugs her until she calms down, so tired that she falls asleep. The sun is about to come up, and she disappears. Later that day, she returns. Something is wrong. The girl is gone. They are looking for her, but he knows exactly where to find her. Serenity Park, a peaceful place outside the city. 3 years ago, the place was the scenario of a guerrilla battle between the Sailor Scouts and the monster known as Doomsday. It was day when the moon died. Everybody requested a tuxedo mask, and the Sailor Scouts got to place its name today. He walks through it. Finally, he sees her sitting on the bed looking at the stars. He sits beside her.
Eek!
I knew you were going back here.
How do you know everything I do?
She is calm this time. The moment of her telling her things has come.
2 days ago, I came here to find the source of the space-time continuum disturbance, and I found it you. I then used my powers to read your memories. I know that you always come here today, since the day Serena died.
No answer. She only glares at her. Then she decides to tell her something.
Please, don't call me Sailor Mercury anymore.
Why?
Because I, ellipses, quit it, ellipses.
Before she can say that, another word. A hand slaps her face. She looks up, and Sailor Pluto is in front of her. Who are you, and how dare you do that?
Pluto, stop it.
Do not tell me what to do, Twilight! I am the princess of the moon! Her friends are in risk in the past, and she is just quitting!
So what? It's my life, and I'll do with it whatever I please.
Another slap. This time on the other side of the face. Pluto throws her a book, and another, and another, and another, and another, and another. And I'm getting turned on by this. And no matter you readers. Read this. You say you like history. Then read page 234 of the book. The blue-haired girl took the book and read the page. Xena was famous for her continuous struggle against evil. Unfortunately, all came to the end when she killed 4 young girls in the store of Tobias. She claimed it was on self-defense, but there was no proof to it. After her execution, her daughter, whose origins were unknown, became legend. She was known for her peculiar pink hair. People, I won't stop here, but I will tell you, this thing just raped the time-space continuum with a rusty horseshoe. Following in text, there was an ancient drawing of the victims, all of them wearing short miniskirts and tiara. Colonel, what are you doing here? I'm sorry, I just heard you say there were short miniskirts. No. The fanfic had short miniskirts. Oh, really? And tiaras on their foreheads, more than enough to identify them. She dropped to the book and fell to her knees. No, you're making this all up. It's a lie. Do not worry, Ami. I'll be there for you. Men! Let's find out who tried to kill her friends. Havoc, you're with me. Hawkeye, you're on point. Sarah and Pluto took her by the blouse. Hey! And slammed her against the wall. Hear me well, Ami Mizuno! If you quit, then will really be responsible for the death of someone. I let the Neo Queen Serenity die, and I do not intend to see the little lady die too, or become a butcher warrior in the past. Do you understand that? Enough! Do not interfere, Twilight. He separated the girl from the woman. The girl is scared and confused, and you're making it worse. Leave her alone. With this attitude of yours, we will win nothing. While they discussed, Ami runned away. See? She runned away. You don't understand, Twilight. 3 years ago, I failed to save the Neo Queen, and now the little lady is in danger. If we don't get Zero Mercury back... She is the only one who can save the others, right? Yes. 3 years ago, I mistakenly thought that they could stop Doomsday easily. I didn't even care to look for them. When I learned of the Serena's death, I was shattered. Now the little lady decided to travel into the past all herself. If something happens to her, I'll never forget myself. And now, the only way, their only hope is she decides to quit. Ulysses. Twilight, Ulysses. What am I supposed to do? Calm down in the first place, and don't treat the girl like this. I'll handle this. Oh, really? Oh, really? Very nice thoughts. But, I'm afraid you'll have to get me back where I belong before I send you both into an endless date with Hades. Ares! He walked toward Pluto and pulled his skirt up. Yep. You're still beautiful. I can see that, Plut. Sorry about that, folks. Press the wrong button. Get your hands off me and explain how you got here. So you're Ares, the famous god of war. And who are you? I'm known as Twilight Sparkle. Now, explain to us why you're here. I don't know. All I know is that I was about to kick Hercules' butt when I found myself here. And you expect us to believe that? He walked back to where Sailor Pluto was, and without any warning, he kissed her. Surprised, she slapped back and slapped him. Don't you dare do that again! Well, let us put it this way, Plut. You helped me and your little friend here, Ellipses, survived, Ellipses. He snapped his fingers, and armies appeared floating in the air. Second layer, it fell to the ground. Twilight got beside her, but he noticed her body was incredibly cold, and her eyes completely white. What did you do to her? Faster, Wings. Faster. 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 Okay, so it becomes incredibly evident that, whilst barely faster than the World Chariot, I'm still pretty certain I intended Tank's runner to be capable of faster speeds than this. Even if I'm really proud of that particular piece of work, if I do so say so myself, it means that I literally made Tauruses fly faster than I am currently. That won't do. That won't do it all. Hey! I was happy! I was happy! What did you do to her? Well, let's just say I gave her a trip to the Netherworld. What?
She is on the frontier of life and death. Or snap of my fingers, she will die. So, what do you say?
Sailor Pluto lowered her head. What do you want? He walked towards Sailor Pluto until he was in front of her. He caressed one of her legs.
You know what I want.
She raised her hand to slap him, but remembered about Ami. Just, ellipses, promise me that you will release Ami.
Ellipses, you got it.
Okay. They disappeared before Twilight could stop them. Seconds later, they were both in Pluto's chamber in the time stream. Aries started to kiss and caress her.
Take a shot!
Please. I don't want to hurt you any more than I already am.
No! Stop kicking me in the nuts!
How dare you accost a woman like that!
And if you do that again, I am going to kick you harder in the nuts! I'm sorry, I'll read this scene normally. I can't do it! No! I'm sorry! No, I refuse! No! You do not make a plot point like this! No, I'm out! No, you get somebody else to read that scene! I'm done! What's the frickin' that's a frickin' I'm sorry, but I don't think he's coming back for this scene. Let's get some. Can we get somebody else here? Maybe they could do it.
I'll help.
Oh shoot! It's a creepy clown.
Let me read it. It sounds like the thing I want to talk about. Whee. Ahem. Seconds later, both were in Pluto's chamber in the time stream. Aries started to caress and kiss her. Please, please, don't hurt me. Don't worry, sweet. But before she could do anything else, he slapped her with all his might. The young woman fell to the floor with a line of blood coming out of her mouth. Fool, what I want is your power.
Huh? I decided for the sake of everybody else that would come back. No, seriously, people. He's looking at the others. I think he's scaring them. Yeah, this is getting quite creepy. Pointing his finger, he asserted Pluto's powers. Sailor Pluto disappeared, and she got normal clothes. Then Aries teleported her back to the park. Twilight saw her appear.
What happened, lady? Are you... Pluto? Is that you?
No. Yes. I'm Mayo, ellipses, Setsuna, ellipses.
Aries took my power, ellipses. What about Ami, ellipses? Nothing new. Look, ellipses, this is what we're going to do. I'll use my power to rescue Ami's soul, and you will protect our bodies. You understand that?
What are you going to do?
I'll go into my astral form into the netherworld, of course, to save Ami's soul, and, ellipses, ellipses, if I'm not back in 2 hours, ellipses, put this necklace on Ami, ellipses. Its powers will protect her soul until someone saves her, ellipses.
She hugged Setsuna, and then stood on the grass. After that, he put his staff in front of him. He then crossed his eyes, and the staff glowed for a moment. Seconds later, he found himself on a strange cave. He started to walk towards where he heard screams. He ran toward them. What he saw was horrible. Ami was hanging from a couple of chains. Her body was covered by wounds. He ran toward her. He tried to kiss her.
My God, who did this, Ami? I did. And if I were you, I'll leave her where she belongs.
She moved to the side to see the author of the torture.
Marquis de Sade?
But what he saw shocked him. It was none other than Sailor Mercury. Then it came to him. It was true she was Sailor Mercury, and in the netherworld, Ami's soul was being tortured by the thing that hurted her the most. He was so concentrated in that thought he reacted when he heard Ami scream when Sailor Mercury made a cut on her leg with a nice knife.
Oh my god, he predicted darkery. Stop that! Stay out of the... Hey, now are we back on? Ah, good. He cut another cut and another scream. She couldn't take it anymore. She turned into a white tiger and jumped on the Sailor Sensi. But when he was about to stick his claw on her, she told him something that chilled his blood. You hurt me, you hurt her. He moved away and returned to his human form. He knew what to do. He walked toward Ami and stood in front of her. Ami, the only way by stopping this is by accepting that Serena's death wasn't your fault. While she was talking to her, Sailor Mercury created an ice sword and started to run toward him. Twilight, get out of the way. No, not until you accept that you weren't responsible for Serena's death. Please, Ellipses. Please, Ellipses. Get Ellipses. Get Ellipses off of Ellipses. The Ellipses way, Ellipses. No. Sailor Mercury wasn't about to stick Twilight with the sword before she could. Okay, it wasn't my fault. Sailor Mercury vanished, and Ami fell to the floor. Twilight took her arms. Twilight, Ellipses, Ellipses, thank you, Ellipses. Then a bright light appeared, and Ami started to vanish. No, Ami, don't do this. Before he could do something, Ami's soul coursed aboard her and entered paradise. Ami only saw a light coming at her. Then she found herself on a beautiful garden, a rose garden. She started to walk it. The beauty of the flowers impressed her. She kneeled in the center and started to enjoy the chirping of birds and happily flew around her, and the flowers but suddenly she heard two voices that were all too familiar to her. Let's go this way, Mother. I have something to show you. Easy, Serena. We have lots of time. She turned around and she saw Serena and Queen Serenity talking, and walking a few miles away from her. She stood there motionless until Serena noticed her and she saw her friend run toward her. Ami, what, Ellipses, are you doing here, Ellipses? I, Ellipses, don't know, Ellipses. Ami, Ellipses, are you aware of the place you are? No, Ellipses, no, Ellipses. Ami, Ellipses, listen to me very carefully, Ellipses. You, Ellipses, are, Ellipses, dead, Ellipses. Ami's eyes opened wide as she possibly could. What? No, Ellipses, I can't be dead, Ellipses. Ami, Ellipses, this isn't the place for eternal rest, Ellipses. What is the last thing you remember? Well, Ellipses, I was running away from Serenity Park and a guy with black clothes pointing his finger at me, Ellipses. Then I was in a cave and a friend of mine had me in his arms, Ellipses. Second later, I was here, Ellipses. But, Ellipses, I can't die, Ellipses. The others may need me, Ellipses. Like she had understood what she meant, Serena and Queen Serenity stood together again, and a bright light engulfed her. Meanwhile, Twilight returned to her body, and there she busted into tears. I lost her! I lost her! Oh, Celestia's going to fail me for this! Twilight, what happened? She's dead, Luna! She died right in front of me! The young woman remained silent while tears ran down her cheeks. Suddenly she heard Ami cough. Ami? She ran toward her and cried while she hugged her. Ami, I thought you were dead. I was, Ellipses, but somehow Serena brought me back, Ellipses. What? I saw her in Queen Serenity, Ellipses. We were in a beautiful garden, Ellipses. I see, Ellipses, but thank God you're back with us, Ellipses. Moments later, Ami was told by a defense that took place earlier that night. We have to get to Ares. How do you plan to do that? You're powerless, Ellipses. With this, Ellipses. She handed them a time key that Serena had. A time key? Yes. It is our last resource. You have to go back in time and help Sailor Moon and the others. Once they're back, we can start thinking about Ares. Ami took the photo thrown to her and looked for the date of the fight between Zenith and friends. Okay, we have to go back to the year 1500 BC. I'll stay here. Okay. Okay, Ami, let's go. Ami stood up in front of Twilight. Both of them called for the power of the time key, and seconds later both disappeared. Setsuna stood there. Suddenly, a voice made her react. So, you found a way to help your friends, huh? Discard! For any answer, the black-haired woman fired a lightning blast, making her body flew through the air until it finally hit a tree. Unfortunately, I can't allow you to do that again. Are you ready for our big old ball of chaos? I know you are, martial art fruit user. See, you even clicked on the same chapter before. I bet I can even make Lappy do weird things. Oh yes, Cha- chapter 17. Peril.
Sometimes fear is the appropriate response. Cotton candy?
Peril. Never I had any reason to consider the word applying to any situation I would find myself in. Yet now I find myself at the edge of death nearly every day. I hated Canterlot. No, not Canterlot. I hated the pink cloud. I had once been happy. Ignorant? Yes. Mindless? Well, I personally thought this was up for debate. Loved? I honestly don't know. But I had been happy. The goddess united us under a common mind, and in a bond closer than even a mother and child could have. Then I came to this hated place, where I could not hear my sisters because of that cloud, which blocked everything and brought back memories. I still felt uncomfortable looking at my blue coat and remembering a vibrant red, seeing wings I never had, looking at my marehood. Shut up! It was to check for parasites. Canterlot has really nasty ticks for some odd reason. And remembering I had other attributes before the goddess changed me. But then I came to Canterlot and the pink cloud. The pink cloud. I hated it more than any of my sisters at Canterlot did. I was sure of it. I was more cautious, too, yet the threat of the cloud always loomed. I had seen the skeletons of ghouls fused to anything they had worn or touched. I was always the first to flee when the cloud came, whether or not a larger danger threatened. Perhaps that was stupid, but seeing a foal fused to its carriage can do a number on your paranoia. I had seen horrible things in the wasteland. Families slayed by raiders, star spawn laying waste to towns, hard monsters created when lesser ponies were exposed to taint. In an old hospital, I once found myself surprised and assaulted by a horrible, bloated once ponies who had attempted to impregnate me with their bastard spawn. I killed them. But the 3 mares I had been tagging were not so lucky. Yet all of them were nothing compared to the cloud's horrors. I woke up at night sweating from the nightmares caused by what I had seen the previous day. Maybe I was more tired than normal. Maybe I wasn't paying attention as I normally would. Maybe. Whatever the reason, the point was I was now flying for my life. Cloud was all around me. I didn't dare close my eyes or open my mouth. I flew blindly, the only one of my little group of 20 alicorns left. I flew, broke the cloud barrier. I saw the wasteland. I felt the tendrils of unity creep, but it was fuzzy, like when we spoke to lesser ponykinds. But I felt something, and in my amazement I had gasped. At the edge of the barrier, cloud must have entered my lungs, and now I felt dizzy. I was having trouble breathing. I fell from the air and crashed. The last thing I saw was a cruel joke. A shaft of sunlight had pierced the sky, illuminating the pink cloud in a display of horrible beauty, like cotton candy at a fair, or the pink mystery mare's smiling face. I sneered and spat up blood. I directed my last words in a hoarse whisper at the cloud. Damn you! Next chapter. Dear... What? I just figured reading some Fallout Equestria would make the audience feel happier than reading this piece of crap. Ow! 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 Sorry! My apologies! Ow! Never do that again! Ow! Ow! Gah! Okay. I just realized what happens when I don't finish my assignment. People hurt me. There's a wolf at my door. Grrr. Yeah, 1500 BC. Twilight and Amy appeared in front of the forest. They started to walk, but suddenly Amy tripped with a little rock and fell to the ground, hurting her leg. Twilight runs to her aid. The blue-haired girl burst when she felt her hands on her legs. She noticed it when she raised her head after finished the bandage she was applying.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Ellipses. I shouldn't have touched you, Ellipses.
It's okay, Ellipses. You're Ellipses.
Even with her high IQ, she couldn't find the words to thank him. Therefore, she decided to show her gratitude. Good night, everybody! With a kiss. A young man and girl embraced each other in a long, sweet kiss until something surprised them. You know, Herc, that fight with the soldiers at King Empress was really... Oh, sorry. We didn't know you were here. Ami blushed deeply. In all of her life, it was the first time she had ever kissed someone, and being found doing it was really embarrassing. Well, except for that one slumber party she had with the Senshi, but they don't like to talk about that. Both stood up.
Who are you?
Oh, I'm Hercules. And this is my friend Aeolus. Who might you be?
I'm Twilight, and this is my friend Ami.
Your clothes are strange. Where do you come from?
From a place far away. We're in look for a female warrior known as Xena. Can you help us?
Xena? Sure.
The three men and girl continued their way. 2 hours they arrived at Tobias. Several men were running out from a dining place where a battle was taking place. Ami heard her friend's voices and ran to her aid. Twilight tried to stop her, but was unsuccessful. Gabrielle saw her coming in and thinking it was another enemy. She threw her staff at her, but the impact was so brutal that the blue hair flew out the window, and then the three men ran to hunt her. Twilight took her as she was crying. Ami, are you okay? No. Ellipses, I can't. Ellipses, help them. Ellipses, before I ran away in the park, I left my pen in the statue. Ellipses, Twilight took a little package and handed it to her. Take a look at this. She opened the fabric and found her pen inside. You got it? Ellipses, ellipses, thank you, ellipses. Mercury power! Seconds later, she was Sailor Mercury, but before she could enter the place, Hercules stopped her.
No. I'll stop him.
Hercules entered the place and found Rini at the back door. Gabrielle was Sailor Venus in her arms, and Zenith ready to kill Sailor Moon.
Zenith! Stop!
Hercules, what are you doing here?
They're friends. Don't hurt them.
How do you know that?
I talked with one of them.
Sailor Moon's eyes opened wide. What? He talked to me. Sailor Mercury stood up in the entrance door. Sailor Mercury? Hi, Sailor Moon. Zenith put away her sword and allowed Gabriella to help Sailor Venus, who was still unconscious. The young woman paced the girl on the table and started to put cold presses on her, but the girl said something that shocked her. Mom? What did you say? The girl tried to talk for a second time. Mom? Ellipses, what happened? Ellipses. Girl, are you okay? Ellipses. She opened her eyes slowly. What? Ellipses. Where am I? Ellipses. I heard the voice of my mother. Ellipses. I'm sorry for the way I hurted you. My whole body hurts. Ellipses. In the meantime, Hercules, showing off his awesomeness, told Xena all that Ami had told him about the Sailor Sensi and their quest for Rini. Zenith was surprised when she had learned all the adventures the young girls had experienced. She made a sign to Sailor Moon and asked her to sit with him.
I only have one question to ask you.
What is it?
Why were you with Callisto?
She told us that you kidnapped our friend.
I saved her when she was hit by an arrow in the forest.
After she told him their story with Callisto and what made the blonde young woman her terrible enemy, Ray got beside her. Wear a tuxedo mask.
He got kidnapped. Again. Like most of the other times.
He stayed with her. Ellipses. Ellipses. Made a deal with Calypso. Ellipses. Everyone's eyes opened wide. Zenith was the first to speak.
What did you tell her?
She liked him. Ellipses. So, ellipses. I told her that she could tell us where you could find a place to keep him. Ellipses. Ray slapped her. What do you think he is? A possessor of yours? Well, yeah. I mean, look, I got the price tag and everything. What do you expect was going to happen? Xena stood up. We had to find him. Gabriella, where is he? She's okay.
Good. Take the little kid and let's move.
Everyone left it, and then righted, and then upwards and downwards, and started to look for Callisto. Meanwhile, back at the motel, she was a tuxedo mask. Whips and chains and kinky leather, somebody's getting laid tonight! The man was knocked out due to Callisto's brutal attack earlier that day. He woke up slowly. Where, ellipses, am I, ellipses? With me! With you! With ye! Dun dun bum 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 bum! With you! Bum 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 bum! He stood up and tried to attack her by throwing a rose. He was surprised when he saw that the impact didn't even cause enough to damage her.
A rose! How romantic! Ellipses, ellipses. I forgot to tell you that. I'm immortal. Ellipses!
But not invincible. There is quite a clear difference here. Immortal means you can't die. Invincible means you can't get hurt. Why is that so hard to understand? She pointed a finger to him, and in seconds he was under control. Meanwhile, the girls were asking Sailor Mercury about their newfound friend. So, where did he come from? I bet she's your girlfriend. Hearing those things, Twilight stopped to turn around. I indeed like Ami, but it's up to her to decide. Then she turned around and continued her way. Sailor Mercury blushed deeply while the rest of the girls giggled. Because, they're girls and, they're going to talk about boys and stuff like that. And they're going to be giggling like that. And they're going to be continually, God, I hate this fic! As they soon heard voices. They continued until they saw Tuxedo Mask kissing Callisto. Well, Callisto, you seem to be a little busy.
Xena, do me a little favor, Trixie. Destroy them.
As you wish, my lovely little goddess.
Trixie Mask got ready to fight, but so did Xena. But Sailor Moon stood in front of her. I'll take care of him, Xena.
Magic Girls attack!
Ooh, Trixie, what are you doing?
I figured this little fanfic could add some beauty and some grace. So Trixie decided to make things a lot more exciting. What's with that look?
Never mind.
Magic Rose attack!
Sailor Moon dodged the attack and threw some dust into his eyes. The man fell to the floor as he got ready to
finish him.
Moon, Scepter, Elimination. When Rini saw the scene, a shock hit her mind as he runs toward him. Sailor Mercury tried to stop her, but she was unsuccessful.
Rini, stop!
Activate! Magic Rose Storm! Before anyone could do something, both rags infected Rainion, who tried to attack him from behind him. When Tuxedo saw her little body fall limp to the ground, Callisto's spell broke. He ran toward her and took her little Benny into his arms. Rainy! Answer me, please!
Total death! What a fic, huh? Cheerful!
Sailor Moon kneeled in front of him. It was then the little girl opened her eyes slowly.
Ellipses, Sonia, ellipses.
Yes, ellipses.
Please, ellipses. For, ellipses. Give, ellipses. Darian.
What?
The, ellipses. Temple, ellipses.
Okay, Darian. For ellipses, I forgive you for that, ellipses. And, ellipses, I'm sorry for the way I tricked you with Callisto. It's okay, Sonia.
Thanks.
She took her hands, and after putting them together, she closed her eyes. Tears started to run down Sonia's face, while Darian just watched her little girl in his eyes. Unbelievable to believe what he just did. A few meters away, Sailor Mercury fell to her knees and started to cry. And now,
it's time for Hell in the Cell! But yes, Sunday! Today, we're going to have Cell fighting in the cell against a cell! What? Bing!
Is that a cell? Really? You're having me fight a cell? A cell? Really? What can a cell do to me?
Oh God, it's eating my face!
Everyone was silent. Nobody could believe what they had just saw seconds before.
Yeah, that cell is kicking Cell's butt!
Rini's body falling low to the ground, being impacted by both Sailor Moon and Tuxedo Mask's simultaneous attack. Go, Cell, go! Sailor Mercury was on her knees crying while Twilight was trying to calm her. The other scouts were silent, but the tears were running down their faces. It was a horrible reminder of the fate of their original leader. And it was a horrible reminder to me of what happened to poor Mommy!
Monica, there. I'll fix it. Well, thank you, Monica. What a nice girl.
The silence was broken by Callisto's laugh. Meanwhile, Cell is on the ground. Tag team! He's taking out! Is that a plant cell? Yes, now it's a plant cell versus an animal cell, and they're going at it, and... Oh my god! A turret's coming into the cell now! It's a freaking nucleus.
Stupid little girl! Ellipses. Ellipses. I didn't tell anyone not to get in the way of two warriors!
Sailor Mercury couldn't hold her anger.
Shut up! This is all your fault! Sailor Mercury, please calm down. Don't listen to her.
But for Twilight's surprise, the blue-haired girl got up. Calypso, you're the only responsible of this carnage. I'm
going to want you to try to find the subject of that last sentence.
I'm not going to let you hurt anyone else. And I'm going to find a way to make this story grammatically correct if it kills me!
Twilight tried to stop her when she saw her walking toward the blonde woman.
Sailor Mercury, please, don't do this. Please, you.
Girlie, if you want to fight me, you'll have to do it on my terms. See you tomorrow, moon, in the
dessert?
Oh, wait. A dessert? Oh, let's see. I'll do this. I'll be there, Calypso. I'll be there. Later that night, Sailor Mercury was sitting on the rock, looking so sad at the stars. And then Gabrielle sat beside her.
And Gabrielle was like,
Sailor Mercury, right? And Ami was like, yeah. And C was like, yes. And C was like, yeah. And then C was all like, are you sure you're ready to face Calypso? Ami was like, yes. And then Sailor Mercury was like, then Gabrielle was like, I don't want you. I know you're hurt because your friend died, but suicide's not the answer. Sailor Mercury was like, you don't know how to feel like it was to lose someone. And then they hugged each other, and they talked, and they had cake, and then they talked some more.
And Pinky, I love you, hon, but I need to do this.
A long time ago, a friend of mine died because of me. Now another one died and I couldn't do anything to save her. I'm not going to let something like this happen again.
The next morning, before anyone could notice it, Sailor Mercury left the camp with her borrowed arms and headed toward the dessert. Sailor Mars was the first to notice.
Where's Sailor Mercury? She's on her way to the dessert!
Yeah, look at her head towards the ice cream.
Come on, she is going to need help.
Added Xena while mounting her horse.
Ooh, Kiki!
Pegasus!
Ooh, I just love the idea of bestiality sometimes.
Up!
I do too some days.
You too, Helios! Meanwhile, Ami arrived at the place Calypso instructed her, loving the sight of the gigantic triple-layered chocolate cake! She waited for a few minutes. She reacted when she heard the voice of the blonde warrior.
Whoa, you did well to show up, girlie.
I'm Sailor Mercury.
Yeah. Let's get over this. But first, I have to make sure nobody else interferes while I take care of your insolent self.
On a snap. Bum. Of the hot half-goddess's fingers, a huge 15-foot steel cage emerged from the ground, locking both woman and girl inside! Woo-hoo!
Well, now that we're all set, let's ready to start the fun! Woo!
Mercury Bubble Arc!
And the grapple kick of the blonde warrior impacted Ami's stomach before knocking her down on her knees.
Weak! What makes you think you were meant for me, even though you could defeat me?
Or even though that you could...
Thought has a T. This is an easy thing to fix. It's called spell checker.
Where can you learn not to do that?
I have to.
Another kick made her fly a few minutes for impacted the case. The blue-haired girl got up and a line of blood was coming out of her mouth. She knew that the only way to survive the attack was Calypso by surprise. She stood there waiting for the blonde warrior to get close. Seconds later, Calypso started to walk toward her. She was close enough that Ami jumped above her, using her ice bubbles. But for her demise, they did not do any effect on the self-goddess. Suddenly...
You are special. You are a self-made goddess.
Suddenly, and without any warning, a big pus impacted her back, making her fall to the ground. She heard a voice. Hi, Callisto. Need any help?
Iris! I was just having fun with the girlie. I don't mind sharing it.
Ellipses. An unmerciful attack began by the god and the blonde warrior. Ami felt punched as every punch wore off of her body. The girls in the Twilight arrived at the scene. Twilight couldn't believe his eyes when she saw Ami's face covered in blood. He tried to help her, but in his surprise, Sailor Moon stood in his way.
No, there's nothing we can do. We can't risk another loss.
Nobody could believe her words. It was all a consequence of the jealousy Sonia felt for Ami. For the first time, she knew he knew all she wanted to be. Smart, lovely, but most of all, she looked like the leader of the Sailor Sensi to herself, and she hated her for that.
Oh yes, she was a bad girl.
Now it was her chance to get rid of her. Twilight couldn't believe it.
Are you nuts? She needs help.
Leave her be. She chose her own path. That's her choice, so don't interfere.
Son... Sonia, please, I have to save her. No. Ray tried to help. What is wrong with you? She is our friend! While the two girls discussed, Twilight ran toward the cave and saw her to save her loyal loved Ami. She turned into a big Siberian tiger and tried to enter the cage. For his demise, the cage was impossible to break. Where are you going where with that word demise? There's little to be had. Was impossible to break. Inside, Ami's body moved like a ragdoll. Ragdoll physics! From side to side, while punching impacted her every second. He changed into his gargoyle form and climbed inside the case to break it to the top. Nobody notices this or questions it! Tears run down his eyes because he was unable to get into the case to save the girl he loved. Slowly, Callisto disappeared and reappeared at the top of the case, right in front of him! Hey, creature! You! Twilight got ready to attack the half-goddess, but she noticed that he was still smiling and pointing down. Twilight saw horrified that Ares was on top of Amy. He was ripping the top of the girl's uniform. Take a shot! Started to kiss her. The girl couldn't do anything to stop him. She was very confident, and she was so hurt that she didn't even care about anything but the pain to stop.
Looks like Ares is going to have some fun with her before he kills her, and you can't do anything to... Ag.
But to her surprise, Twilight changed to her human form and closed her hand around her throat. He looked at her with all his strength and began to choke slam her against the top of the case, making her pass through the wall, creating a hole that allowed her to get inside. Once there, he ran toward the area where Ares was about to dress Amy up in fine furry clothing. Once he was close enough, he jumped and tackled Ares away from Amy. Then he used his staff to attack him. But the god vanished and reappeared behind him. Twilight sensed it and turned around. They were face to face, 7'2" Twilight and Ares, the almighty god of war.
So, you think you can lay your hands on a god and live to talk about it?
I will do whatever I have to save Ami, even fight Zeus himself.
Ellipses. But I have no intention to destroy you now. I'll enjoy seeing you suffer with the death of your friend, Ellipses, even though I missed a good time I was going to have with her, Ellipses.
Shut up! He tried to hit him, but the god vanished. Seeing that the danger was over, he ran towards Ami, and kneeling beside her, took her body in his arms. The blue-haired girl opened her eyes slowly. Twilight! I'm here, Ami. I'm sorry for being so late. Twilight saw that Ami was starting to cough up blood. And somewhere, my mother screamed aloud. I would have gotten Mom's screen for this, but it broke.
She needs help. She needs help.
Tuxedo Mask ran to aid him. The scene reminded him of when Serena died. What Darian saw was the most horrifying thing he had ever seen. It looked like Ami had been hit by a truck. Every part of her was bleeding. He took off his coat. He took his coat off, and after taking his shirt off, he cut it several pieces. Please! Next fanfic, go to spell! Zenith was also joined them, and used special herbs and spices to make her extra crispy, needing to heal the injuries. Meanwhile, a few meters away, Ray was really giving her a piece of her mind to Sonia. Sarah, Venus, and Jupiter were really worried, since the two young women discussed this with turning Violet very second. You're a monster, Sonia. Serena will risk her life to save her. Serena. I'm sick and tired to hear her name. You know what? I'm happy she is dead. What did you said?
You heard me.
I'm happy she is dead. I have been more of a leader than she could ever. She couldn't end. Ray jumped on her, and both girls started to fight. Yeah! I forgot my room is full of female plushies. And Sailor Jupiter was the first to speak. For God's sake, calm down. Ami is hurt and she needs us. Chapter 7. The End of Sailor Moon. So, anyway, I found this really nice fan... So, where were we? Oh, yes. It seems that Captain Kirk was totally out of his mind. Even though he used to be so mad at Dean and call him names. There wasn't a person in the world that he cared more than that strong man that he used to call her. And hearing the disturbing Spike saying evil things about him, he couldn't stand.
Spike was by her side, was also mad. She was tired of girls. She wanted to be a leader. But our dear beloved Sam Winchester was always telling her, actually, Sam was only giving her advice, as he used to do back with Dean. What to do made him really, really mad. Both would have loved to go at each other's throats. But sadly, Angel and Captain Picard were holding them. Suddenly, Captain Kirk used a technique of judo learned in school to release himself from Picard's grip. The blonde girl impacted the floor so hard that he was air blown out of his lungs. Then Captain Kirk took out his scepter and pointed at Ray. Oh, no, 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 out, 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 Discord, out! Now, Ray, I'm going to teach you who's boss. Lunar Scepter Elimination. Leo was terrified. She knew how powerful the attack was. She tried to talk with Sonia. Sonia, calm down, please. We're all friends, please. No, I can't be a friend of her. Now stand aside so I can kill her. Sonia, stop. Sonia turned around and saw Ami walking toward her. You, who do you think you are for giving me orders? I'm the leader, understand? The leader. Ami continued walking. Every step caused her intense pain that moved through her body. After the brutal attacks she suffered at the hands of Ares and Callisto, nonetheless, it's all one word. Try and work with it. She wanted to stop the carnage that was about to begin. Sonia, don't do this. A few meters away, Twilight looked at Sonia. It looked like she was cleaning the sweat off her forehead, but the gargoyle noticed something. The tiara that used to be there wasn't there anymore. He directed his eyes to the girl's hand. There it was. In one hand, she was holding the scepter. In the other, the tiara. You know, people, that should be an awesome sight, but at this point, I've been at this for almost 1 hour and 20-something minutes. I don't give a fuck! She was going toward Mercury. Ami, stop. Twilight tried to stop her, but before he could do anything, the tiara flew in the air. Ami stood there motionless and closed her eyes when the tiara was close, but the impact never came. She opened her eyes and saw a white glow in front of her. She recognized it. Queen Serenity. Sonia, you have disgraced the Silver Crystal and Sailor Moon. I shall request the Queen Shisho back. Princess Celestia? You decided to do some of this? Yes. I figured Luna and Twilight were having so much fun, I might as well join in. The apparition of Queen Serenity and the request for the crystal made her lose it. No, never. It's mine. Mine. You understand? Sonia, Ellipses. I'm not going to hurt you, Ellipses. Please, Ellipses. Give me the crystal, Ellipses. Seeing Ami again, Sonia ran toward her and took her hostage. I'll never give it back. I'd rather call for its power and kill us both.
Hey! Ellipses, girly! Ellipses, why don't you share with me? We can both destroy the goods together! Ellipses.
Sonia turned around. The idea of joining Calypso started to hammer her head like a big frigate sledgehammer! In the end, she reached a decision. Okay, Callisto. It's you and me and you. Well, no matter how they toss the dice, we'll never be so happy together. Sonia, Ellipses, you don't know, Ellipses. What are you doing, Ellipses? Sonia hit Amy with the scepter in the face, and a line of blood came out. Shut up. We're leaving. Calypso, teleport us away.
Hey! Don't give me orders!
Do it. In seconds, Sonia, Ami, and Callisto disappeared. Twilight ran towards Xena. Where's Callisto's hideout? Your Highness. Queen Serenity also approached. Worry not. I can trace the crystal. Seeing the Queen's approach, Twilight bowed. Your Majesty, what an unexpected honor. You may rise, Twilight. We have more important things to worry about than my presence. We must get the crystal and rescue Ami.
I think we have a score to settle.
Ares,
the god of war for you, creature. It is time both of us settle the score.
For any answer, Twilight extended her arm, and her staff appeared. Both men disappeared and reappeared on top of a hill. Meanwhile, Gabrielle ran toward Minako, who was still on the ground, a victim of Sonia's attack. She held her arms and gasped when she saw the colors she was wearing. It had a Greek symbol. Where did you get this color? Stole it!
What? It was there. Gabrielle couldn't believe it. Manako was part of her family. That was the color she gave hope to when she was born, and instructed her to pass it on to her daughter and son, and instructed her to do the same. Meanwhile, Twilight got ready to start the battle. Before he could do anything, Ares impacted him in the chest with a lightning bolt. Then, to everybody's surprise, Twilight attacked. Jupiter! Lightning bolt! You know what? No, I'm not going to rip off Sailor Jupiter's attack. I'm just going to use my own magic. Pow! Lightning bolt emerged from Twilight's horn. It impacted the surprised Ares to fall to the ground. The God of War fired off another shot. Twilight blocked it off with her barrier, and she fired with another attack. Take this! The girls were surprised. Okay, the original dialogue is Jupiter Lightning Bolt Smash, Venus Sunbeam Blast, because Twilight can use all the girls' attacks! Oh! Look at the Gary Stew! He can use everybody's attacks is so much more powerful than the others! And people call normal characters Mary Stews. One of these days, I really gotta show you people this fic. Don't know, but the Twilight Gargoyle is using them worse than everybody else. Ray. Of course, Ray would insult him like that instead of being angry. You know, he probably also would be going, "No, you girls do it better," because Ray is such a flaming hothead that she would immediately insult her friends when their little twerp is using their power supposedly better than them. No, Makoto would be ticked off. She would be ready to challenge this a-hole to a fight, ready to beat him down. Venus would be backing her up. Ami would be going, well, okay. And hey, Ray would be on the same thing. Actually, she would be also comforting Ami and then going, doesn't use it nearly as well as I do. She would be insulting him. She would be mocking him for even thinking of insulting her friends. That is who Ray is. Not this little measly little... Well, he uses them a lot better than you do. You, sir, Dooom, fail at writing Ray, Ami, Minako, Makoto, and every other single character you get your hands off. Please stop writing right now and get off my internet. God, I hate this fic. Meanwhile, Twilight received another shot from Ares that made him fall to his knees. But when the God of War was getting closer... Fire blast! And then Twilight used a flaming fireball out. A huge ball of fire emerged from her horn and impacted Ares, making him fall a few meters away. Twilight walked toward Ares. Oh, by the way, remember, people, he's also better because... Twilight's also better at this because he has a dick. No other reason, is explained. It's just that, he has a penis. And as we know, that's important in a show that's all centered around stronger women. I would put a riff on a certain review that I loathe, but right now I don't feel like it. I'm not that... right now I don't feel like it. This fix got me too mad. The God of War stood up. Alright, Kritza, you win, but we will see each other another day. And it's been several fanfics, and nope, never happens. Ares touched Twilight's staff, and it turned to Pluto's seconds later. It disappeared to reappear in Setsuna's hand at the exact moment when this gun! I'm howling at the moon! Was going to finish her. The goddess saw her in amazement at the girl's transformation. Before she could do anything else, a couple of words just emerged from the girl's mouth. Now, Luna, the attack should be silent, okay? It needs to be quiet. Pluto! Dead! Scream! Luna, your Majesty, I said silent. Do not think that the Princess of the Moon, goddess of the fairy night, would just say something easy. A blast of light impacted the Draconicus, who, feeling defeated, disappeared. Back in the past, Queen Serenity guided the group back to the place where Callisto and Sonia were hiding. It was in a cave in one of the mountains. The girls entered the palace. A few minutes later of walking, they entered a large room. A throne with Callisto was smiling, and beside her, Sonia sat as well, with the lunar scepter in hand. A few meters away, Ami was in a cage, dancing. Welcome. We were expecting you. Really? Okay, I promised the next time she got to do her iconic yell, I would try to do it. So... There! With incredible speed, Xena jumped and followed in front of Callisto. The warrior princess took out her sword, and the blonde warrior imitated her. Seconds later, a battle started. On the other hand, Sailor Moon stood up and prepared to fight. Leah stopped her. Sonya, we can work this out.
Work this out, freak.
A blast emerged from Sonya's hand and impacted Leah's chest, making her hit a wall. Sailor Venus and Mars were shocked. They knew Sailor Moon's powers, and Finger Blast wasn't among them. The answer came without asking.
It's nice what a little Ambrosia can do for you.
Make you immortal? It was like a cold bath. Now she didn't only have the Imperial Silver Crystal, but now she was half goddess.
Who's next?
Bang! Mandala! Look, if you're going to use Mars's flames, do it right. Mars! Fireballs! Soon! The ball of fire impacted Sonya, causing no damage at all.
Full.
Pointing her finger at Ray, Sonya blasted her so brutally that the impact of the rock wall knocked her out. Sailor Venus ran to her aid and saw blood coming out of the back of her head. Twilight stood up in front of her. Sonya, please, I don't want to fight you.
Then don't, and die. Moon, Scepter, Illumination, activate.
But the unexpected happened. Ami stood up in the way, and the blast sent both against the wall. Twilight reacted when she felt Ami spying on top of him. Ami, no! Ellipses. Ami! Ellipses. The blue-haired girl opened her eyes a little. Twilight, ellipses. Twilight, ellipses. You didn't have to do this, ellipses. I, ellipses. Love you, ellipses. I, ellipses. Couldn't, ellipses. Let you, ellipses.
What a lovely couple, ellipses. Too bad I'll have to kill you both, ellipses.
But to Sonya's surprise, Twilight paid her back. Do I really have to do this? It's near the end of the fic. Moon, ellipses, and activate. A blast sent Sonya back to the place she was sitting before. Seeing that Zenith kicked Callisto so violently that the blonde warrior followed in front of Sonya, Desi addressed Twilight. But bless the rocks above them. That's the only way to stop them.
No, Sonya. Sonya is my friend. Twilight, don't.
Ellipses. I'm sorry, Ami. The place started to rumble. Iolaus, oh yeah, I remember you, took Ray in his arms and run out along with Sailor Venus. Xena and Gabriel run out. Hercules followed them. Herc, what were you doing in this fic?
Cameo.
Oh, thanks, Herc. But then when Twilight and Ami were leaving, Ami heard something that made her return.
Ami,
ellipses. Ami, ellipses, please, ellipses, help me, ellipses. Ami tried to turn back, but Twilight held her.
let me save her. No, please.
No, it may be a trap. Suddenly, a big rock falls on top of the cave. Twilight covered Ami with his body, but before the rock could impact them, Hercules caught it.
Come on, get out.
Sonya.
Twilight dragged Ami out, and the cave followed over the two warriors. Outside, Queen Serenity was sad by the loss of Gwen Shiso. That's it! We're doomed! We're all freaking dead! If this was set any time after the R season, yeah, we're dead! In comes the Dark Moon Clan, and boom! We're all dead! That's it! History's over! Just bring in Hotaru right now and have her use the Silence Glade to kill us all! Yep, we're all dead! Queen Serenity wouldn't just be sad by the loss of the Gwen Shiso. Oh, no. She'd be freaking out about this! It's the Gwen freaking Shiso! We are all dead! Okay, everybody... Oh.
Your Highness, this belongs to you.
Twilight handed the Queen a small package, and it was the Gwen Shiso.
The Gwen Shiso, but how, ellipses? After I attacked Sonya, she dropped the wand and I took the crystal from it.
With the crystal in hand, Queen Serenity disappeared. Where did it go? Meanwhile, Ami was crying, where did it go? And nobody could calm her. Where did it go? Twilight got beside her. Where did it go?
Ami, ellipses. It had to be done, ellipses. There was nothing else we could do, ellipses. We, ellipses, could have saved her, ellipses.
Suddenly they heard a voice. It's time to go back, but I can't go back. It was Setsuna. After saying goodbye to Hercules, Iolaus, Gabrielle, and Zenith, the Sailor Sensi returned to time. 2 days later, Twilight were in Serenity Park watching the stars.
Twilight, ellipses. Are you, ellipses, going to leave, ellipses?
It all depends on the answer to this question.
Yeah? Do you love me? With all my heart.
then I'll stay with you forever, ellipses.
Suddenly they heard a thud and saw Mina, Ray, Lita's falling from behind a tree.
Girls!
Sorry, we just wanted to see what you lovebirds were up to.
It's okay, Ray.
The girls stood up and left the couple alone. Minutes later, Twilight kissed Nami, and a sweet voice was heard. What do you think you're doing? Luna, Artemis, what are you doing here? This Twilight guy is my boyfriend! The bobcats faded. In the distance, the CD on the music player could be heard. Special thanks to my friend Twilight. Oh. That explains everything! Well, time for the review of this fic. What do I think of it? This has got to be one of the worst pieces of crud I have ever read in the past few months of doing this. Yes, I know a lot of people talk about, I don't know, the small stuff like My Immortal or stuff like that. But, you see, here's the thing about My Immortal. It's spelled so horribly. It's written in such a bad way that it has to be a troll fic. And, second, so, despite it being 40 chapters, it's actually shorter. It's actually kind of short. And third, doesn't look like there was that much effort put into it. Sometimes this, you can see the genuine effort this guy tried to put into it. That there was a story that he actually wanted to try to get out. That there was a plot. And it just fails in so many ways. Even worse than My Immortal. And comes close to sometimes Mikan level of pain. It's just, there's a difference between doing this type of stuff and doing My Immortal, which everybody does. My Immortal, it's easy to make fun of. Just pick a line and just riff it. But sometimes things like this take a little longer, because you actually have to realize you gotta go through not just bad grammar, but the mischaracterizations and just the awful way the plot's set up. I know you saw me get angry at, Sarah Pluto giving up her body, but that's just one of the things. We also have the Senshi do nothing throughout this fic. Nothing. They don't even manage to take down the last bad girl. Ami being reduced to a simpering twerp. It's like reading these things are the things that really, really tick me off and remind me why I love to read a good pony fic. Because at least there, I have a good chance of seeing some of the girls in character. This, I gotta take back everything bad thing my little brother ever said about Luna the Matchmaker. At least there I could enjoy myself. Not this. Well, next week I think I'll do something that'll make me happy. Maybe another Buffy. Or maybe a Buffy and Supernatural crossover. See you next time. God, that's what a fic!